What's going on, you guys? Steven here from AIRSOFT Tech, and today I am bringing you guys a pretty requested video. I've been getting a lot of private messages on YouTube about this, and just a few comments every now and then I see them on some of my videos. But I've been getting a lot of private messages recently and a lot of emails too about how to go about doing this. And just like what the title of the video says, I'm going to be talking about how to actually get sponsored for AIRSOFT, for a YouTube channel, if you have a YouTube channel of your own. Before we get into this video, I just want to quickly mention that if you are a subscriber of mine and you saw my last two videos, and you may have gone back to my channel since then, you would have seen or you would have noticed that the videos aren't up on my channel anymore. And the reason why I took them down was because I wanted to share it with you guys, and once all of you guys, well, not all of you guys, but a lot of you guys saw the videos, I decided, what, the important thing was that you guys were informed about what's been going on and that you guys saw the videos, and now I'm just going to take them down because we're past it. I don't want to be talking about it anymore. I don't want you guys to be thinking about it anymore. So I took it down, I took them down, and I just want to go forward. So if some of you guys are curious about what I'm talking about right now, maybe someone in the comments will say what they were, what the videos were about. But remember, that's not an issue anymore. It's done. We're moving forward. Let's forget all about it. But with all that being said, let's get into the actual video now. Okay, so now about how to actually get sponsored for AIRSOFT, for having a YouTube channel, because there's obviously tons of different types of sponsorships out there for AIRSOFT, but the sponsorship that I'm going to be talking about is the one I aim for, the one I shoot for, the one I look for and stuff like that, which is being sponsored for AIRSOFT, by a company, for a YouTube channel. And that means getting products sent out to you to do videos on, and then if whether whatever company you have a sponsorship with or whatever the situation is, you either send the guns back or you even get to keep what they send out to you. But again, that all works out with whatever you work out with the company, or whatever the personal information or whatever you guys decide to do about the sponsorship. That all depends on what's going on between you guys. But anyway, so about getting sponsored for AIRSOFT, by having a YouTube channel. Your YouTube channel, you guys might want to click away from the video as soon as I say this, because it's gonna discourage a lot of you guys. But I'll tell you a little bit of how to get around this big barrier or wall. You're gonna need a decently sized YouTube channel. When I say decently sized, I mean at least the bare minimum, I would say at least 5,000 subscribers. And you guys would say, I only have like 300 subscribers, I only have 600, I only have 2,000, I only have 3,000. I've been there, I understand that, but you have to keep in mind, you guys, you can't just come into this biased and you're saying I want a sponsorship and I deserve it because I work hard. You guys have to understand, they're a company that needs to get something in return if they're gonna be doing something for you. So for example, say I get a gun sent out to me and then I do videos on it. What they're gonna be looking for now in something in return is people going over to their website, more attention, more traffic to their website, even possibly purchasing the gun they sent out to me to do a review on. Like say for instance, they send out, a M4. Okay, and then I review the M4 and then I send it back after a period of time or whatever, and then all the people that are subscribed to me and watched the review of that M4, say a certain amount of them go to their website and purchase that gun because I reviewed it, or people are just going to their website now and checking out their website and may buy something else just because they might not be buying that exact product they sent out to you. At least people are going over to the website and might be purchasing something else, and that's what they wanted to return. So they're not just gonna send out someone a gun or send out someone to do a review on if they're not going to get anything in return. So say I have 200 subscribers and I get like 50 views per video or like 20 views per video or something like that. Why would they go out of their way to send me a gun when I only have and do videos on the gun, and so only a handful of people will see the videos? They're not really going to get anything in return. So why would they take that risk of working with you? So companies are only going to want to work with people who have bigger channels. And again, I've been in your situation. I remember asking and emailing a whole bunch of companies when I had about 300 subscribers, and then I got to 1,000 and then 5,000 and stuff like that, and everyone was saying we're not interested, we don't offer that type of sponsorship, we're not really interested in working with you, we apologize, all the spots are taken or something like that. They just make up stuff to say to you. But you have to understand where they're coming from. What if you were the company and someone comes to you and they only have like 200 subscribers or 1,000 subscribers or something like that, and they're not really getting a lot of attention on their YouTube channel? What are you going to get in return as a company? You're going to need something from them if you're going to send out a gun. So both people have to get stuff in return. That's the number one thing. So you guys might really not like what I'm saying right now, but the bigger channel you have, the bigger, the better odds, the better chance you're gonna get sponsored by a company. Now, obviously, if you don't have at least 5,000 subscribers, or 8,000, 10,000, or whatever subscribers, and you have like maybe 1,000 or maybe like 600 subscribers, something like that, you can obviously still get free guns. However, this is when connections are going to be coming into play, a lot. And obviously not all of us have connections. I don't even have connections. Say you're someone who has a YouTube channel who has like 600 subscribers or something like that, and a family friend runs an airsoft store or shop. You can talk to them, hey, we're buddies, we're family friends. Is it cool if, you give me a gun to do videos on, I review it, possibly getting more people into your store or shop or onto your website, and then I'll bring the gun back, when I see you again, or something like that. That's a way of getting, free guns or something like that, or however you want to say it, or get products to do videos on, if you have those type of connections. But if you don't have any types of connections with any shops or anything like that, or family friends that that run shops and stuff like that will give you guns, then you're going to need a bigger channel. I also want to make this clear though, that this isn't something that just happens like that. I didn't get my first sponsorship until I had 20,000 subscribers. And now I don't want you guys thinking you need at least 20,000 subscribers, because I know YouTubers who got sponsored at 5K. I know someone who got sponsored a year and a half ago, I believe, who got sponsored at 2.5K. So sometimes they cut you some slack, sometimes they don't, but the majority of the time you're gonna need quite a few subscribers and quite a few views per video. I'm sorry if I came off as a bully, or I'm like ripping your dreams up, something like that. I don't mean that. I'm just telling it how it is. I'm telling the truth. We're being realistic here. Okay, but say now we're gonna get into an example again. Say you have like 8,000 subscribers, okay? And say you get like 1,000 views per video, or like 900 views. Your videos are gonna vary on views depending on who wants to watch them or not. But say the average is like 1,000 views, or maybe even over 1,000 views. Who knows what the views are? But say you have around 8,000 subscribers. This is again just an example. Now you want to go about getting sponsored, and you want to know the process of how to do so. So what you want to do is you're going to want to find a company that you want to work with. Evike and Airsoft GI and Airsoft Megastore, they're not going to really sponsor a whole lot of people unless these channels are absolutely huge. Like Airsoft Megastore, they sponsored, I believe they sponsor Airsoftology on a couple videos. They sponsored Novrich, who has like 900,000 subscribers, something like that. Airsoftology, Jonathan, he has like 80,000 or 90,000 subscribers. So these guys are absolutely huge. Evike sponsor, I believe, What Are You Buying? I'm a huge fan of theirs. They have like 80,000 subscribers too. They're a lot bigger than me. So yeah, they're gonna sponsor those bigger companies, or those bigger channels. But other companies, they're more open to sponsoring people. Okay, so now what you want to do about talking to a company and getting sponsored. So pick a company that you want to work with, and hopefully they'll sponsor you. And you do one of two things. The first thing is, well, you can email them and call them, but you want to email them first. But in your email, you want to make sure this is your first impression to the company. So you want to make sure your email is as professional as possible. You don't want to, have a whole lot of spelling errors. You don't want any spelling errors. You want to make sure your sentences are, formatted correctly, the grammar is all correct. You want to make sure you're not using like text abbreviations like LOL, or I don't know, like LMFAO or something, crazy like that. You want to make sure that you're writing as if it's a paper that you're going to turn into school, like an English class, like if you're in high school, if you're in college or something like that. You want to make sure you're writing it as professional as you can, because that's their first impression. And say you have two emails side by side, and one says, hi, my name is so and so, I has a YouTube channel name, and then the other person says, hi, my name is so and so, I have a YouTube channel with 30,000 subscribers or 20,000 subscribers, and I'm interested in a YouTube sponsor. Just right off the bat, they're gonna pick this one because he knows how to write well. He knows what he's saying. They don't want to work with someone who doesn't even know how to write correctly. So you want to make sure you're as professional as possible. So as I said, the grammar is correct, no spelling errors. You get to the point. You don't want to ramble on about too much stuff, which I occasionally do. I do a lot actually in these videos. But yeah, you just want to be as professional and mature as possible. And say you're still a little worried about how it sounds or how your email came out, go ahead and ask your mom and dad, hey mom, dad, can you please look over this email? I'm about to send it to a company. This means a lot. I need to make sure it sounds the best and looks the best it can. So can you just clean it up for me? Or if you have any other, suggestions for me to include, just, go ahead and do so. Give me ideas, clean it up for me. And if they say no, well then whatever, go ahead and send out the email that you think is the best you can put out at this point. All right, so now let's talk about what to actually say in the email. everyone can say what they want, you know, it's their opinion, it's their choice of what they want to say, but the things that you should at least definitely include, you know, these are the bare basics that you must include, is obviously your name. You say, hi, my name is so and so, I have a YouTube channel named so and so or whatever. I have this many subscribers, I get this many views per video, I get these many video or this many video views per month, how many subscribers I get per month. Here is a link to my YouTube channel, so they can go ahead and just click the link while they're reading the email, so they can actually check out the YouTube channel, check out your YouTube channel and see, you know, if they like you or not. You can say something along the lines, you know, I'm really looking forward, you know, to be working with you. If you give me this opportunity, I would really appreciate it. Hopefully I can bring a lot of traffic and, you know, more people to your website, and hopefully, you know, drive more sales and stuff like that. You just want to talk maturely, you know, you don't want to sound like a little kid, you know. That's the worst thing you can do. So those are the basics that you want to include in your email, you know, because you want to give them an idea of who you are, what your channel is. And remember, the link is very important, so they can go right to your website or right to your YouTube channel and, you know, see what your videos are about, how many subscribers you actually have, if your videos do well, and if they actually want to work with you. Okay, so next thing though, the phone call, which was the second thing I was talking about. You can either email or call them. Now that we cover the email portion of this, and say they don't email you back. Okay, say you send this email out to a whole bunch of people and none of them respond to you, or, you know, they just say no, they just say we're not interested. But for the ones that don't even get back to you, then you pick up a phone and you call those people. For the people that said no, there's no point of really picking the phone up. For the people that didn't get back to you, they didn't even acknowledge you, pick up the phone, you know, go on their website, see what their phone number is, call them, and have a conversation, an actual conversation with someone there. You know, when they pick up the phone, you can say, hi, my name is so and so. They'll be, you know, hi, you know, this is so and so, how may I help you, or whatever. And then you say, hey, is there someone there I can speak to about, you know, possibly sponsorship, you know, opportunities, more specifically about YouTube and stuff like that, because I have a YouTube channel. And if they're saying, yeah, you can speak to me, or here, I'll transfer you to someone, then you talk to that person. Okay, you don't want to just talk to someone who has really no business talking about something like that, because they'll just be like, yeah, we're not really interested, and they'll hang up. No, you want to talk to someone who is in charge and who can actually make a decision, you know, whether if they want to work with you. So once you find out who that person is, you talk to them, and this is when people skills and, you know, being social, whatever, all that good stuff comes in handy and is really important. Okay, because like with an email, you can take as long as you want. You can think of what you're gonna say, you can plan everything out. When you're actually on a conversation, you're talking to someone, you're gonna need to be prepared. You can't, you know, wait 5 minutes to reply to an answer, or, you know, or reply to a question, you know, answer something that they're asking you about. You have to, you know, answer stuff on the spot, and you have to, you know, have a nice conversation and just be friendly. Know how to talk to someone. If you're, you know, awkward and you don't really know what to say, it's hard to keep a conversation going, then, you know, it's gonna be kind of hard. It might be, as I said, it's gonna be a kind of an awkward situation, which might not end so well. You know, you want a sponsorship, it might not end so well, and they might still say no. However, you know, having a conversation or whatever, and, you know, just having, you know, a nice friendly talk with them and talking about what you're looking for. They can look you up on the spot, you know, on the phone or whatever. They can look your YouTube channel up. They can talk to you about what they like, what they don't like, and then you can go from there. You know? So, you know, there's different ways of how to approach this. Email and phone call is obviously the biggest thing. Remember, the bigger your channel is, you'll be, you know, the better chance you'll have of getting sponsored. And, you know, I really hope I didn't discourage a lot of you guys out there, but say you're a YouTuber, you're an Airsoft YouTuber, and you have 8,000-9,000 subscribers. Use the tips I told you about the email. The email is probably your best bet, and if, again, they don't even get back to you, they don't even acknowledge you, then pick up the phone and try your best to have a great, and friendly, and just overall a very nice conversation with someone there, and, you know, make a great first impression. Guys, that's really all there is to it. This isn't like super complicated. This isn't, you know, some tricky little thing. It's just, you know, the bigger the channel you have, the better the chances, or the better the odds you have of getting sponsored, because you're getting a lot of views, you're getting a lot of attention on your channel, which means, you know, possibly more people going to the company's website and possibly purchasing products from that website. Also knowing about how to put together a very nice, well-written email. I told you guys what to include in your email. I told you guys how to talk on the phone. You know, just be, you know, yourself, be friendly. Don't, you know, try not to stutter as much as you can. You know, respond to them as fast as you can. You don't want to leave them hanging. If they ask you a question, you have to know what you're going to say. You have to be prepared. All that good stuff. And, you know, again, everything is about your channel. The bigger your channel is, the easier it is for you to get sponsored. And I know that's probably not what you guys wanted to hear, but you know, I told you guys some tricks and tips of what to say in your email, and the email is also very big, but again, your channel is the biggest thing because that's what they're going to be working with. But yeah, so that's pretty much it, you guys. Hopefully this helped you guys. If it did, give this video a big thumbs up. If you have any other questions, leave them down below and I'll try and answer as many as I can. If you have any, you know, specific questions about a certain aspect of the video that I covered, or certain, you know, anything, just anything at all, leave it down below and I'll try and get back to you as fast as I can and as detailed as I can, just giving you guys the most information as possible. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video, you guys. So thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.